Yay. All right. So, welcome back to day two of Driven Succeed Regardless of Circumstances. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. And I'll just be letting in more people as we go. But yesterday, we talked all about being driven by purpose. So, really, the importance of getting clear on your ideal work, a vision for what really feels like it's in alignment for you. And I shared the three vital steps to create that clarity. So if you haven't watched the replay yet or you didn't show up live to that, definitely do that because it's a really great way to get clear on what feels like it's most in alignment for you so that you can become driven and create more flow in your life. And just to share, I'm Lauren Hill. I am a career and business coach for creatives, and I help creatives make money doing work they love. So, yeah, hi, welcome, Serena. So, yeah, if you, like I said, if you want to drop in the chat who you are, what you do, maybe your website, your social media, just so we can get to know each other. And I am curious for any of you who came yesterday, what, if you like, now that you've had some time to think about it, is there anything that stood out to you the most from yesterday's training? Like, was there one big takeaway that you got? So drop it in the chat if there was something that stuck with you, like something, one part of the training that you kind of keep coming back to, or anything, any idea that you found that you keep, that you have been thinking about since we did that training yesterday. And Kismet says, listening in from one of my sewing gigs. Oh, cool. Seamstress, performer, educator, stagehand, multi-passionate, and sharing your flower essence practice. That is awesome. Cool. Thanks for sharing that in the chat. Yeah, so if there's anything that stood out from you from yesterday's training, I'd love to know. And if there's anything that you kind of keep coming back to. So as I continue today, like maybe there's something that pops up that you remember from yesterday's training too, and you can go ahead and share that in the chat if it comes up for you. So today we are going to be talking all about being driven by priorities. And I want you to kind of think about your goals right now. So thinking about the results that you want to create in the next, even in the next month or the next 6 months. What do you feel like is harder for you? And I want you to drop this in the chat. Either A, so you can type an A or a B. What do you think is harder for you? A, deciding what you want, or B, staying focused on what you've already decided? So let me know which one you feel like you resonate more with. We've got a B, staying focused on what you've already decided. Got another B. A, so deciding what you want, or B, staying focused on what you've already decided. Okay, so we have mostly B's and one A, which is what I was expecting actually. And it is really interesting. It's, both of them, I think we all struggle with both of them, A and B. But today, what I'm going to share with you is so important exactly because of this. So purpose tells you where you're going, right? Deciding what you want. So that's what we talked about yesterday, how to find your purpose, how to plug into your purpose, decide what you want. And then priorities determine whether you can actually get there. So staying focused on what you've already decided. So You can be crystal clear about what you want, but if your time and your attention and your energies are scattered, you will never build momentum. And that's why today is so important. I'll be teaching you some tips on how to create that momentum, how to stay focused on what you've already decided. So when you are driven by priorities, you can focus on what matters most right now versus like all the other things and make progress, accomplish what you set out to do, and most importantly, like stop spreading yourself so thin. And I know firsthand as creatives, we have so many visions and so many goals, so many passions, so many talents. Like just like Kismet said, educator, stagehand, performer, seamstress, like flower essence. Yes, like we're good at a lot of things. And Chriselle, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Chriselle, yes, Chriselle, aspiring model and cultural producer. Like that encompasses a multitude, right? Like I know I love painting, I love writing, I love coaching. I have so many passions and so many talents. And we can also be idea factories. Like we're creative, so we come up with a lot of ideas. And so it can be hard to choose what to work on first. And that's why we need to look at like how you're actually allocating your time and your attention and your energy. So let's make this even more real for us. I want you to drop in the chat. Think about how many major projects or goals or ideas you're currently working on that are competing for your attention, and just type the number in the chat. So think about like the different things that you are competing for your attention right now as far as projects or goals, and just like brainstorm just the first number that comes up for you. I'm curious what that is. Sunshine, 8. Wow. 4 plus. Yeah. So interesting. 5, isn't it says? Yep. So interesting. Like, look at all these numbers. 7, Serena says. Yeah. It's a lot of competing priorities, you know? So no wonder so many of us feel overwhelmed. And this is exactly why the skill of prioritization is so important if you want to become successful, if you actually want to finish things and like achieve what you set out to achieve. So learning this skill of prioritization will create more freedom and more peace of mind for you. And this is a skill that anyone can learn. Like you don't have to be special to learn this skill. And so, when you are able to fully learn the skill, embody it, have it as a habit, you can be more present in your life. Like imagine, when you're with loved ones and friends, like you're fully 100% there. You're not spinning around in your to-do list, going through all these things that you have to do in your head, or like an email that you forgot to send. Like you're really present with your friends and family. Or when you're at work, you're not like thinking about, you know, how you feel burnt out and like, how you're so overwhelmed with all these other priorities that you have. Like you can feel rested and show up and get your work done. Yeah, Sunshine says, I feel so scattered. Yeah, I think that's like a lot of us feel that way. And so we want to look at that. And that's really what I'm going to share with you today is like how to shift that. And I do know that this is a balancing act because, like, I struggle with this as well. And we're going to fall out of balance sometimes. Like, that is totally normal and that is totally okay. And it's totally okay to like feel scattered sometimes. There are, especially like, there are so many competing priorities that are loud as well. Yeah, exactly, Chriselle. It's almost like our society affirms scatteredness, like it's normal, especially for a woman to hold so much, right? Yes. So we want to like reimagine this and like set the tone for this. Like we want to be the ones who go first and really like do this. And I think it's amazing to be able to do a lot of things too, like grow your capacity. We're going to be talking about that more tomorrow with desire, but just knowing that there is a way to feel balanced, there is a way to feel, in flow and like what your priorities are. So I'm curious, have any of you guys ever said yes to something when you were really excited and then later you realize like you've taken on too much? Because this is something else that happens too. Yeah. And so the important thing is to like not beat yourself up about all of these things, about feeling scattered, about taking on too many things, saying yes and then having to say no. Like just recognizing when you need to reprioritize and use this prioritization skill. So I recently had this experience when I started my first group coaching program in May, and I got really excited about it because I had this new group. Like I've only done one-on-one coaching in the past 5 years, and I got really excited about it, really invested in it, and then I was like, I want more. Like I want another one. This is so fun. Like let's get another one started. And so I started selling another group. Well, it comes to find out, like, I am stretched way too thin. Like, launching this second group is not it's not a priority for me right now. Like, I need to stay focused on the group that I have and the one-on-one clients that I have and that whole process for me, along with exactly what Sunshine is saying, health, mental, spiritual, physical, all of these other priorities. And so what I decided is like even though I had started promoting this group, I'm putting a pause on it and I'm waiting to start it until August. So the second group won't be started until August, and that's okay. Like it's okay to change my mind and reprioritize. Like it's okay. So let me just check the comments. Yeah, constantly working on my relationship with myself so I can recognize a true yes. Yes. Well, I like to ask myself, one of the tools I do is like, does this expand me or does this contract me? Like, is it fear or is it my intuition? And it takes practice to like really understand what is a hell yes and what is a hell no for you. And like, still, we're going to like make those mistakes sometimes and say yes and then need to say no. So I want to share the definition of prioritization. And I know a lot of you are probably like, but Lauren, like, I don't know how to prioritize. And I just want you to know that it's super simple. Like, learning this skill is really easy, and you probably already know it. And it's like, we're going to actually talk about the real problem in a moment. But I'm just going to share with you the definition so you can see like how you probably already know how to do this. The definition of prioritize is to evaluate a group of items and arrange or rank them in order of importance or urgency so that the most crucial tasks are handled first. That's literally it. It's a very simple skill that we actually do all the time. Just ranking of importance. So the most crucial thing gets handled first. It's like, I would just think of like, okay, is it time to eat? Like that's a priority right now. That's like a simple way to see how we prioritize sometimes. Like we prioritize our meals because they're important. They give us life. So most likely you're already doing this. And if not, like I'm going to share some tips so that you have a simple process. But real quick, I want to ask you a question without overthinking it. I want you to drop in the chat, like, what is the single most important goal that you're working towards right now? Like, if you could just pick one sentence only, or maybe even a word, what's the single most important result or goal that you're working towards right now? Drop that in the chat. Just pick one. Maybe it's like finishing your novel or finishing a painting you're working on. Maybe it's landing a new job. Maybe, okay, great. Well-being. Love it. Single most priority is your well-being. I absolutely love that. Serena says buying a condo. It's a big goal for you. Maybe it's like getting 3 new clients. Seconding well-being, mental, spiritual, physical, financial. Yes. Well-being. I love that. Relational too. And that goes back to the core values. That's one of my core values is well-being. We talked about that yesterday, and I shared about how getting clear on your core values is so important. So that's like one of your priorities. Single most important goal I'm working towards getting signed to a modeling agency. Yes. So notice how quickly most of you were able to answer that. This is like a great example that you know more about prioritization than you think. Okay, Chriselle. Yeah, you can ask a question. Go ahead and drop your question in the chat. I'll be also answering questions at the end, but just if you don't want to forget it, just drop it in the chat and we can address it at the end if it's or right now if it's easy enough. Yeah, so just notice kind of like how quick you were able to choose one priority. If we think that it can be like difficult sometimes. So that is actually not the real problem. Figuring out the priority and like getting good on that skill is one thing, and you're probably like already pretty good at it. But the real problem we need to look at, the real problem that keeps holding you back from actually prioritizing and feeling driven by your priorities is how you're thinking. It's your thinking, how you're talking to yourself. So it's important to look at like what thoughts and stories are you telling yourself? And specifically when it comes to taking action towards your goals. So just before we go into that more, I'm just going to look at these questions. I get caught up in the material need, probably with scarcity mindset, means that most importantly need to feel paying off bills, get distracted by money. Yes, I think a lot of us do this too. And like that is a huge priority. Like we need money to survive. So that's important. Like I think that is important and that's a priority. So that's okay. And it's okay to like manage all of these things. So I'm going to give you some tools, some more tools for that too. And then the other question was, how do you prioritize the overarching goal and the step to take? Yeah, so we're going to address this right now. Okay, so like I said, the real problem is how you're talking to yourself and the stories you're telling yourself. So I hear all of the time from people, I'm not sure what step to take next. I don't know which direction to go in. Like all the time, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Just that story, that thought. Like just have awareness around that. Another one is, and this is like exactly, why I like when I was talking about launching that second group and like wanting to do it now and all this stuff, it's like it's not the thought, it's not happening fast enough. That thought, I don't have enough time. Anything along the lines of like, not enough, not enough. I don't know. I don't have. I'm not sure. Not enough. Like these storylines are what is holding me back, these thought patterns. And so we want to have awareness when that happens and not just let it go on repeat all of the time in the background. We got to slow it down because where that is all coming from is it's coming from insecurity. It's the vibration of lack. It's the vibration of scarcity. There's self-doubt there. And that's okay. Like it's going to come up sometimes. The important part is just to like have awareness around it, right? And it all boils down to fear. And like fear is like a really strong emotion. It can feel debilitating. And this is a lot of the work that I do with my coaching clients is like being willing to feel that fear, to name it, to address it, and to like keep moving despite the fear. Process it through, understand maybe where it's coming from, and keep moving forward. Again, with the thoughts, like telling yourself, I'm willing to feel this fear and keep moving. And if you need to take the time to like process that fear, do that first. So I am curious, back to the I don't know statements, the I don't know thoughts. If you could drop in the chat, what do you feel like is the most common version of I don't know that shows up for you? So like fill in the blank. I don't know blank. I don't know what to charge. That's a common one I hear. I don't know which project to focus on. I don't know whether I'm good enough. What do you feel like is a common I don't know statement that your brain likes to offer? Saint says, I don't know what actions are going to make me money. Yeah. I don't know how to make time for my creative practice. I don't know if this is in alignment with God's will in my life. Yeah, so it's interesting to hear your brain offer you these I don't know thoughts. I don't know if I should leave my community project. Okay, so now we're going to do a little process together. I want you to pick, I don't know, sunshine. I don't know. Yeah, I want you to pick the thought, either what you shared or pick one of the I don't know thoughts for you and ask yourself, if I did know, what would my top three theories be? So I'm going to give you like a minute here, just real quick. We're going to flip the script. So, like for Saint, if I did know what my actions were that would make me money, what are my top three theories? For Kismet, if I did know how to make time for my creative projects, practices, what are my top three theories? Theories, yeah. Top three theories. Oops, Siri was chiming in. So looking at like, if instead of just automatically going to I don't know, looking at like, okay, if I could pick my top three theories of like which actions to take next towards these things, what would I guess? Like, what are my guesstimations? If I'm a scientist and I'm making some, you know, what's another word to say theories? Like some guesstimations, some ideas, coming up with those three ideas. So let's look at Saints. Top three theories. One, I make money when I connect with people. Two, I make money when I communicate with people. Three, I make money when I show people what I can do and how I show up. Perfect. So that's even a step forward, right? Like looking at the way we talk to ourselves, seeing the I don't know thought come up, seeing the lack thought come up, and then shifting into like, okay, but if I did know, how can I like theorize around that? And this is a practice. This might take some time for you. That's okay. But this is really the solution. You have to shift the way that you're thinking. You have to stop telling yourself that you don't know, or at least catch it. And it takes practice because these are like, this is a habit. Like your neural pathways are like rivers in your brain and they create a really deep divot. Like if they show brain scans, it looks like canyons that are made by rivers, certain thought patterns. So that thought pattern of I don't know has created a really deep divot, and we're trying to change it into another river and like create new neural plasticity, new thought patterns. So it might take some time, and that's okay. So it's just like asking yourself, starting to ask yourself, like, if I did know, what would that look like? You can brainstorm. You got to use your brain for this. Like, use your brain and don't let it use you. Like your brain is meant to do a lot of good for you, but also like it's programmed back from like when we were in the caveman days, and things are different now. So we got to use our brain, our prefrontal cortex, right? That's where we prioritize, we goal set, we create boundaries, all with the prefrontal cortex. That's the command center for higher functioning things, like higher orders of function. And it involves planning, decision making, and regulating our behavior. So it's easy to kind of like go on default mode. It's easy to kind of get lazy. Like I do it too. I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Like I don't want to have to think. Like I'll use ChatGPT, right? To think for me. No, like we want to use that muscle. It's like the most way you can get connected and create magic. Like actually asking yourself the hard questions. Okay, let's look at the chat. So I would be documenting my work, transitioning relationships, happily honoring work boundaries. Yes. So good. See, your brain's coming up with ideas for you. Beautiful. Love it, Kismet. I would be making clothes in my home studio. I would be working regular with contributors, collaborators. Yes. So it's cool to, even in this short time, see how your brain's like getting on board with things. And it's great because, okay, from here, right, we're giving ourselves a lot of options, But this is the tool that I always use. Prioritization, it's like a really simple process. Ask yourself, what are the top three priorities? What are my top three theories of what to do next? And then pick one. Okay, based off of these three things, what's the one? And if there's a book called Eat That Frog, and it's essentially like in a nutshell, it's picking the thing, the one thing that feels difficult and really important and doing that first. The one that like almost scares you. And he talks about it in a way of like every single day, if you start your morning off with eating that frog, like the big thing that feels hard and daunting, but really important, everything else in your day will be super easy. So just taking that and like you can even make a bigger brainstorm list. Like if your brain wants to come up with lots of ideas, like let's get into ideation, come up with 10 and then go to three and then go to one. But it's about changing the way that you're thinking and then really narrowing in on what feels most important for right now. And I also want to address going back to the not enough thoughts because this is a big one for me too. Not enough time, not enough money, things aren't happening fast enough. This is where we can fall off track sometimes and forget about the priorities that we set or that we commit to. And that's okay. Like, this is going to happen. We're all humans and like we live in a very distracting world. But this is typically because of what I like to call shiny carrot syndrome. You see the shiny carrot and you're like, oh, that thing is going to make me feel better temporarily right now. Like that shiny thing. Ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that. And like we are constantly being bombarded with shiny carrots. So I'm curious, like, if you can think of one shiny carrot for yourself right now that you're like, oh, I want to do this thing, but like I have all these other priorities. But ooh, that thing over there, like maybe it is the new web page, like a new social media platform, a new certification, a new logo. For me, it was starting this other group coaching program. It was a shiny carrot that I was like, ooh, that'll make me feel really good. And like, I want to help people, right? But it was a shiny carrot. It wasn't in line with like the priorities that I have right now. And like, this is the thing, we all have these shiny carrots that show up. But this is where lack and scarcity and burnout can live.
So a shiny carrot is something that we idealize that's like an end goal, but it's not like the main thing. How would
Yeah,
you?
it's more of like a distraction.
Mm.
And it can be something, so that's where it gets a little confusing too, is like it can be something that's like we really want to do and that is like in alignment with where we're going. But because of the priorities that we've already set and we've already agreed to and we've already like, you know, planned, it can derail us from getting the work done and moving forward with the priorities we've already decided on. And that's why like I like to give this example of this group coaching that I wanted to start because when I made that decision, I was like, oh, like, of course this is a priority. Of course, like, I have enough time for this and enough energy. And like, it's, it's great. But then after like I started noticing I was feeling stretched way too thin and like I had this kind of like lack feeling like chaotic like that feeling of like, oh, I gotta get it now, I gotta get it now. I was like, oh, something's up here. And my boyfriend was actually the one who kind of like helped me see. So sometimes it takes another person and another support system to kind of like call you out on it too, or help you see what the shiny carrot is. And it's like this is our way of checking back in with ourselves. Like this is the need to be able to like check back in with your goals, check back in with your priorities, and reassess and reprioritize. And like we're never going to be perfect. Like I said, we're going to fall in and out of balance all of the time. And it's okay to feel out of balance too. It's like those high and low cycles. Like we're in flow, we're thriving, everything's going great, we're getting stuff done. And then the low cycles, it's like, wait, what is going on? I feel so tired, so depleted. I can't get anything, like so foggy headed. Like those cycles are going to happen. That's very normal. It's just about continuing to check in with yourself. Think, look at the thoughts you're thinking, checking in with your priorities, and reassessing all of that. And that's why, each 3 days of this training are so important, like as a more holistic view of being driven and like succeeding regardless of your circumstances. So Kismet says, I'm working on a script for a theatrical performance with two collaborators, which seems like it would be exactly what I want to do. But I often feel like my yes because of relationship obligation rather to true desire. Okay, exactly. We're going to talk about all of that tomorrow and being driven by desire. So yesterday we talked about the 3 vital steps for getting clear on your work. And then today is about prioritizing what's important. And then tomorrow is all about like tapping into like, what are you doing like out of obligation? What do you really desire to do? Like maybe there's some people pleasing going on. So we're going to talk about all of that tomorrow. And this is like exactly what I help all my clients with too. Like I help them learn these skills so they're actually implementing them because our brain likes to forget. We need that repetition. That's why I work with my clients every single week because we need that repetition. We need the implementation to change the neural pathways, right? To turn these things into habits so we don't have to think so hard about them. But that takes time. It can happen in a moment and it takes time. Because it's one thing to just like learn these skills and like learn the things you need to know, but it's another thing to like actually implement them. And that's the power of working with a coach or some kind of support system. And that's really where you can build that trust muscle, right? Like that's why people go to training classes, like physical training classes, or work with a physical coach, a trainer, when they're first learning certain things about fitness too, or they want like that accountability. And that's where you can really learn to like have your own back. You can get clear on your goals, you can follow through, you can adjust for all the things that come up and succeed, like no matter what shiny carrots come your way too. Or even if you have like difficult life experiences come up, distractions, or difficult life altering circumstances. We'll be talking about all of this tomorrow. Being driven by desire, even when there's like difficult things that pop up that distract you. So I'm going to really help you learn how to cultivate that desire for your goals, even when life feels really hard. So let's just check the chat. My shiny carrot is my savior complex, trying to be there for all my friends and family because it feeds my desire to be in the community, to be seen, to be safe places. Yes, totally understand that. Like being part of a community is so important. And I've definitely oscillated back and forth with this too of like, being so present, being so giving, being part of the community, and then being like, oh my God, I'm so freaking tired. Like, I need to take a chill pill. Why am I doing this? Kind of looking at that reason and like again, looking at the top priorities, but we're gonna swing from side to side, and that's okay. Okay, so if shiny carrot is what keeps me from doing the things that need to be prioritized but are low on the list. It's crazy, but it's my workflow. Okay, so maybe that's shiny carrot is what keeps me from doing the things that need to be prioritized but are low on the list. Yes.
I know it sounds a little confusing, but can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me a little more about that.
Okay. So, I have a lot of creative projects that I work on an ongoing basis, and it's kind of like it's just what I'm in the flow for at the time, and I could work 10 hours a day, but I rein it in, and trying to just really live my life and enjoy my life, enjoy the time that I have and be social and do things that I enjoy. But when it comes to the work that I need to prioritize, I think of it as the social media and the newsletters and reaching out with email. That always falls low on my priority list. And so I keep kicking the can because I've got all this creative work that is my top priority when I'm working, right? When I'm in work mode, it's like, okay, I've got to do this and this and this. And so I can just keep that going and I just keep pushing off, procrastinating. So
Yeah,
but I know this, but it doesn't help.
this is
Sorry.
it comes to like look because again, it can be a very distracting, loud world out there. And so we can look at like what actually is some of the ways, because I think you said, tell me if you said this for sure. You said social media, newsletters, and then reaching out was a third thing.
Yeah, like my email list. I have about 200 people on my email list, and I told them that I sent when I was signing people up on a regular basis, I told them that I send emails once a month, which I really have tried to do that. But it's like, oh my gosh, my friends are like, Sunshine, I want to see an email from you. And I'm like, I have this mindset that it's invasive, it's bothersome, like I'm sending too many emails. Like I don't know.
Okay, so
Just
a couple things going on. This is really good. Thank you for sharing this.
okay.
So one is like looking at the outside world and we're kind of like bombarded with this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Social media is the way to do it. Newsletters, reaching out, right? Like the way to market your business. This is where we have to recheck in with ourselves and be like, well, how do I want to market my business? And
So
then
true.
decide like also what is fear holding you back from actually doing the thing that you want to or want to try and look at this. So this is like multi-layered, but just first of all, maybe social media isn't like the way that you want to be marketing yourself all the time, but you hear that it is like supposed to work or supposed to be what a business owner does. So this is where looking at your core values. Hi, puppy. And like also what has worked for you in the past for creating what you desire, right? Your goals, like creating community, creating sales. Like if social media isn't the thing that works for you well or hasn't worked for you well, maybe it's not one of your priorities. That's where it's again like finding less, doing less can be more. And it's really about checking in with yourself, like, do I want to be doing this? So we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. But then the second layer of that is like, okay, if it is something I want to be doing, looking at the thoughts that are holding you back from doing it. So that is all, we're going to discuss all of that tomorrow. But I think the first thing to really look at is like, you don't have to be doing every single thing that people say to market your business, to get out there. It's really like checking in with yourself often, being like, what do I want to do? And just like, again, like it's okay to test things out, it's okay to fall off. And like it can feel really overwhelming sometimes, like, especially when there are so many competing priorities and like we are stretched thin. So again, like looking at how you're talking to yourself and like having a lot of compassion for yourself through this. Like there's no shame in like making mistakes and like feeling off balance. Like this is a normal human thing that happens. Like it happens for me all the time. Like I go in and out of this. And so just like having compassion for yourself through this, like it is a bold and courageous thing to be an artist, to be a creative person. Like our society is not set up for creatives in the way that I believe it should be. People need our art, people need our creativity, like, and it is the heart, like giving parts of your heart and exposing them to the world is the most vulnerable thing you can do. And then putting a price tag on it, like that is a difficult thing. So kind of like just congratulating yourself for like creating some of that, like being able to like get your art out into the world, to be able to make art and then get paid for it. Like hell yeah. But we're going to help make more creatives get paid better and better. Like that's my goal, is to like get more of your art out into the world and help you get paid better for it. So just to kind of review, really the biggest thing we need to shift is the way that we talk to ourselves. We need to look at like, what are we actually thinking? Like being even just the thought of like, yes, I do know how to prioritize, or I can learn how to prioritize. Instead of you're telling yourself, like, I don't know. And if it does feel hard, just asking yourself, like, what are the top 3 theories of what is most important for me right now? Like just checking in with yourself. It takes daily check-ins, weekly, monthly, hourly. Like when you're feeling overwhelmed, like taking a pause and just checking in with yourself. Like, what feels important to me right now? Right? Maybe I need to go eat. Maybe I need to take a nap. Maybe I need to like go towards that thing that I'm really afraid of and just feel the fear and do it anyway. Getting honest with yourself about that. And the more that you do this, the more that you will get better at this skill too. And just having compassion for yourself all the way along the way. So before we end, I just want to wrap up with a quick check-in question, or quick 2 check-in questions that you can leave with today. So just asking yourself right now, right here in this moment, what do you feel like your number 1 priority is for you right now? Like just checking in with your intuition, taking a deep breath, checking in with your inner guide and asking yourself, and drop it in the chat. Like, what is my biggest priority? What feels really important to me right now in this moment? What is on your heart? Setting up my home sewing studio. Beautiful. Lunch and mind shift. Yes. Yes. So looking at this and asking like what's one action that you can take right now or the next 24 hours to help kind of ground this priority. What feels really important is cleaning my space and my energy, centering myself in service. I've taken on a lot of action today already, and I need to make sure that energy is behind. It is flowing and centered. Yes. Same, cleaning up and doing laundry. Great. Solidifying my next apartment. Love it. Saint says, I'll pop on my headphones and clean my home as well as listen to my audiobooks so I can have fun too. Yes. So just knowing you have this tool at any time, you can check in with yourself. Instead of saying like, I don't know, or this, this is hard. I can't do this. Okay, what do I feel like in my heart of heart, my intuition right now? What's one of my biggest priorities? And like, what's one action step I can take today? It's in those small actions, consistent actions, time over time that we build our habits. And that's how we actually build things, brick by brick, one brick at a time. Okay. Light a candle, put on some music, and go. I love the energy in you. I'm gonna have lunch too. And oh, question two was what's one action step that you can take now or in the next 24 hours to kind of ground this priority? And it sounds like that's where you were headed already, Sunshine, with like what you were gonna do now. So I do want to open it up. We have a few more minutes. If anyone does have any questions, any other questions, um, or anything that came up during the session that you want to, just bring into the space and talk about, we have a few more minutes, so you can feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand. And if not, we can break. Anyone else? Anyone have any more questions or?
Oh, I did have one jumping in really quick. Like, how do you balance the priorities of like what your goal is and then the action items to accomplish that goal? Like, of course, it's self-explanatory, but in some ways, like, how do you sit with those competing priorities in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And it's like, really asking yourself this question. So, and it takes, this is, I don't have a one-on-one coach right now. I am part of a group coaching program that I get coached. I can raise my hand to get coached and I watch coaching calls all the time. But something that's been coming up for me, I've worked with a lot of coaches, is I'm in a place right now where I'm like, I just need some help. Like I'm struggling to do this on my own and I kind of just like don't want to do it on my own. So sometimes it takes like getting that help of like sitting down with someone and being like, okay, I need to look at my goals. Like I need some help to look at my goals and the action items. But some of us don't have the luxury to, pay for coaching. That's okay too. There is like free support out there. But this is something that really asking yourself, like pretending you are your own coach and being like, okay, what are my goals? And that's something, I shared yesterday is like figuring out how to identify your goals and like what's most important for you. What does your ideal work look like? So getting clear on the goals for you, maybe it's just in a certain time span, 3 months from now. What are the top three theories? Like, what are the top three results I want to create in the next 3 months? And then coming up with theories, ideas, narrowing it down to three, and then maybe choosing one or keeping those three, and then brainstorming all the different action steps that, asking yourself, okay, and this is exactly what I do with clients. Like on a weekly basis, on a monthly, on a yearly basis, we look at these things and it's the same process every single time. It's asking yourself, like, okay, if I did know what my goals were, if I'm just gonna theorize, what are my top three goals for this time span? And then what are all the action steps that I want to brainstorm, narrowing it down to the top three, getting started on the top one. And like making sure, like just reminding yourself it can be simple. You can, and you only have a limited amount of time. So it's not like, you can do everything. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you will never do it. Like maybe that's something for a future date, right? Like I keep coming back to this group coaching program because I'm like, no big deal. I'll do it at the future date. Like, yeah, I'm sad that I couldn't make it happen now. I mean, same with painting for me. Like coaching is my main thing right now. It's been my main thing for the past 5 years, and I'm really invested in this. This is my primary purpose. Like this is what I do. This is my art form. And so painting and other creative things, although I'm really good at it and I love it, it comes secondary because this is where I want to create success. This is where I know I can't do it all, and that's okay. Like I'll come back to that when it feels like it's more of a priority to me. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Join us tomorrow. A lot of questions that came up today, we are going to get to tomorrow for day 3, driven by desire. So being able to follow through even when insecurity pops up or motivation fades or like other distractions start happening. Life is lifing. So we'll go into all of that tomorrow. Yeah. And I appreciate everyone for being here. And yeah, if you didn't watch the first replay, I sent it out from yesterday. So you'll be getting it in the email as well today. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.